Welcome to another episode of the Pit Walk. We're down here at the Bend Motorsport Park for improved production racing in South Australia, and I'm joined by Adam in an incredibly competitive Monaro. Tell us a bit about the car, Adam.
Thanks, Hayden. Yeah, so my name's Adam Paul. I'm the driver of the number one Holden Monaro. It's a 2006 chassis. I've had it probably about 10 years now. We built it up from what they refer to as a body in white, so it's a car they send down the production line as a spare body shell for if one's ridden off. So that was a fantastic place to start, but probably the biggest issue was finding all the bits and pieces for it. So I had to go out and find every single nut and bolt, rubber and whatnot for the car. So that took quite a long time to do. It almost took 5 or 6 years to build, and it had its first event in 2016 at the Island Magic Nationals that year.
So to build an actual IPRA car, starting from a body in white,
Yep.
What was that process like?
I had different specialists do the important things on the car. So the engine was built by a gentleman here in Adelaide, Dave Lee. The roll cage was done by a similar guy in Adelaide. And then other than that, it was really about trying to find all the bits and pieces and then just assembling it within the rule set. At the time, the Monaros were quite hard to get parts for because they were fairly new. So I actually sourced a lot of the components from the States, where they sent these over as the GTO. And then because they sent quite a few over there and they wrecked a lot, it was quite easy to get things like quarter windows and rubbers and all the bits and pieces. Plus, for a lot of the components, the Commodore stuff just transfers over. So all the suspension stuff is the same. Dash, I think. So yeah, that was the process. It was a long process. I wouldn't do it again.
It's pretty funny, the idea that these cars were built in Adelaide, shipped to the States, wrecked by some guy, shipped back to you to be in a race car. That's super cool.
Classic, right?
Aluminum block, 6-bolt mains, powdered metal connecting rods, 350 horsepower, 5.7 liter V8, 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds. The new Pontiac GTO. Fuel for the soul.
Now, there's a number one on your car.
There is, yes. Yep.
People that aren't that familiar with motor racing probably don't understand what it means or its significance, because you can't just put a number one on a race car. Tell us, how do you attack this and how do you take it seriously and how do you be number one?
Look, we do a lot of work, to be honest. To be fair, I mean, it's amateur motorsport. It's all, I don't have any sponsors as such. It's all, services in kind or whatever. So we do a lot of work ourselves. It's all paid out of your pocket. So I guess it's about using what resources you have to make the modifications in an economical way to build the level of the car up to the speed where it can be a national spec car. There's prior to myself winning the nationals, there's some successful other guys which they set the bar and we attempted to achieve that, which thankfully we have. So it's a lot of development on the suspension, on the engine, on the braking, and in all honesty, there's a lot of development in amateur motorsport that comes from the driver, but actually, lifting your level up to being able to use what you've got.
That's actually a really good point, because people spend money on all sorts of things when they're getting involved in track days first and motorsport after.
Yeah.
Everyone always says the cheapest modification to your car and the best one is seat time.
Yeah.
Is that sort of been a key to this, is getting out there?
Yeah, certainly. I think, the last few years we've raced a lot in Victoria and at Phillip Island and some of those tracks, and you can certainly see the progression over the journey of making the adjustments to your driving to be a little bit closer to the grip level and a little bit better, a little bit more composed. So that certainly has made the difference. There's one thing having a good car, the other thing is you still actually have to go and go and do it and do it consistently. You've got to have your maintenance and up to spec, so it's reliable. If you don't finish, you don't win. So thankfully this thing's been very reliable for us. It's only had one DNF in its entire history. So behind that, there's a lot of work to make sure that happens.
So Driveline wise, what separates this from something that actually got sold in Australia in 2006?
Well, under the rule set, the engines have to run a production block. So this is running an LS engine, which was available in a Commodore Monaro. The gearboxes are free. So we've recently upgraded to a Hollinger sequential actuated gearbox made in Melbourne. Somewhat of a stock differential in it. Stock axles, the suspension is custom built out of Queensland. And all the suspension arms and things like that are all factory source components. So look, it's largely the same other than the gearbox, to be honest with you. Albeit the engines had significant modifications to what you'd buy in your normal SS Commodore.
And how much sort of power is the car putting out, and how much does it weigh, and the key stats?
Yeah. So lots of people ask me what it weighs, and it's like asking you what your wife weighs, to be honest with you. So I'll keep that to myself because it's one of the few things we do have an advantage on. But horsepower-wise, look, it's running north of 600 horsepower and south of 700. So it's somewhere in that range.
In the range, yeah. That about wraps up. Thanks heaps for the chat, Adam. Okay. Good luck in the Monaro, and we'll catch you later on.
Beautiful. Thanks, Hayden.
Cheers.